Wow. It is 2022. Malela is back like he never left. Back more than a tree. Okay, that's too much, probably too much. Hello fam, hello. I have missed you guys, man. I have missed you guys. How's your 2022? I hope your 2022 is as fire as mine. I am an excited man as I, record this. I just got done with something that I have wanted to get done with for a long time, and that is my undergrad. So I just completed in January, and now I'm just waiting for my graduation, and I am so thankful for that phase of my life. I'm thankful for all the memories. 7 years at Kenyatta University, not easy. Anyways, what's in it for the story today? I was just relaxing today, going through my pictures, 2019 pictures, travel pictures, because I have definitely missed traveling. Of course, I have not stopped traveling, especially locally, but I have missed my international travel too. And I was just thinking about an incident that was very hilarious. If I tell you hilarious, it was super hilarious and partly embarrassing. So, for those who might know or might not know, I have two friends. I call them my girls, my amazing girls, Angie and Sandy. We work with them in the organization I volunteer with, PS Servants, and they're just not my girls. They're my confidants, they're my friends, my fun mates, my eating mates, they're just basically my family. So Sandy and Angie are Americans. So on one of our trips abroad, we were in Singapore, and I will give you the inside Singapore story another time. But I want to tell you about when we were leaving Singapore. So this is what happened. Our stay in Singapore was very delightful, and I think we arrived at the airport on time. I don't remember what happened. Yeah, but we actually arrived on time. So we get to the airport, relax. Singapore have a beautiful airport. Oh my, I have never seen an airport so beautiful. Anyway, we leave. I remember flying from Singapore, we went through Tokyo. So going through Singapore to Tokyo, then Tokyo to Boston. So we arrived, our flight from Singapore to Tokyo delayed. Yes, that is what happened. I remember quite well. Our flight from Singapore to Tokyo delayed. So then when we got to the terminal, we were flying Air Tokyo. Not Air Tokyo. We were flying Korean Air. Yes, Korean Air. That is the right one. So we get there, and the hostesses or the attendants at the terminal tell us, you guys are late, and most likely you will miss your flights. And we had the choice of giving up, but we did not give up. So what happened is, a suggestion was made that once we confirmed our tickets and all, the Kenyan in the group was to be sacrificed. And in all this drama, it happened that we met another African. I don't remember where we found this lady, but she was on the same flight with us, so we had to die together. We had to stick together as a unit. So it was suggested that the tall, slim African in the group will make a race across Tokyo Narita Airport, which is a huge airport, to the terminal we were supposed to be boarding at, and then stop the flight from leaving. You can imagine how crazy that is. So me in my underpants and my tall dark self, I leave my bags, my carry-ons with Sandy and Angie and our African friend, and I leave running like a madman across Tokyo Narita. Now that is not so crazy, especially if you see it in movies, but in real life it is it is hilarious, especially if you're tall and skinny and dark. And most people in Tokyo are really short, so I was like towering above them. And remember, I'm barely even 6 feet tall, but I'm still towering above them. So I ran across I don't know how many terminals. So the terminals are indicated. If they're A, B, C, D, it's the airport plans nowadays make it easier. They follow that sequence. So of course I knew which terminal I was going to. So I was running while looking up and also avoiding knocking people over. So I'm running and hoping also security does not take note of me and start chasing me so that it becomes like a mad person thing. But it's good. I ran like a madman. I got to the terminal. So I get to the terminal and guys, stop. I have 2 old ladies with me and they can't make it on time. So you have to stop the flight. And then I come to the realization that no one else is in a hurry as much as I am. So there were 2 options. It's either the flight had left or I was on time. And this was embarrassing. So you can imagine which one it was. Oh my. It was embarrassing. Cause there was a general delay in the whole of the airport, and the flight people had not started boarding. So I arrived there, causing all this commotion, looking like a mad person. So I just gathered up my embarrassment and my little left dignity and took my Kenyan self to sit on one of the benches. So, and Angie and Sandy tried their best, jogged as much as they could together with my fellow African friend. And they arrived and they were like, what was on? I told them we were too alarmed for nothing. The flight has not left yet. So I ran across Tokyo Narita for totally nothing. You might think our drama ends there, but it does not. So we board on time. We get 3 seats, the middle seats, Sandy on one end, me on one end, and then Angie's in the middle. And then I don't remember, but I remember the emergency exit was visible from where we were sitting. So one thing we had not accounted for was that there was going to be turbulence. And now in my 14 flights or so during that time, I had not experienced as much turbulence. Now let me tell you what happened. The flight started out well. We were talking, sleeping, watching, and then at some point the plane started losing altitude super fast. It was like that feeling. Sorry about that. That feeling when you're on the lift. Now imagine that feeling in your stomach now amplified 1,000 times. So it kept dropping and people are like, oh, and then it gains altitude again. It drops suddenly and then it gains altitude again. I can assure you guys, I prayed all the prayers I could pray. And I can tell you this, everyone on that flight, including atheists, they prayed that day. And then it started tumbling. All of a sudden it's tumbling. It's dropping, rising, tumbling, dropping, rising, tumbling. And everyone is just getting crazy. And people are gasping all over the plane. So you can imagine how scary that was for people, And then some people decide to scream. I'm like, God, I'm coming to you, I up in heaven. Receive your son. Forgive me all my sins that I have done. I have repented. Anyways, Sandy, Angie and I look at each other and we don't say anything. We just hold hands and then keep going. We look at each other and don't say anything. And then, it was just a funny spectacle. And then you can imagine also the nervous smiles. Now, this was all fine until I knew it was bad when one of the hostesses came and sat. There's a special hostess seat or something near the emergency exit. And then she buckled up. And then I was watching her as the turbulence went on. She was holding the seat as if her life depended on it. So the flight is going down, rising up. And she's also startled. And I'm like, if this person with so much experience is this much scared. Whomst am I? Whomst am I? Oh my. So the turbulence went on for about 45 minutes or more. I do not remember, but it was a really, really long time. And I had said all the prayers that I could say, and I made peace with it. And I remember another thing that made us, even more startled. When the pilot made an announcement, there's a bit of turbulence, it's going to be okay, there will be a delay and everything. Another thing that was an indicator that things were bad was when the pilot also spoke in to just encourage us. Anyway, we arrived in Boston safe and sound, and we thanked the Lord for that safe flight. We were really thankful for that safe flight. Yeah, that was one of my only almost bad experience with flying internationally. Otherwise, that was a good experience. One of the things we nowadays laugh about with Angie and Sandy, two ladies who are amazing and so goofy. Before we went to Singapore with these two ladies, we were in Philippines and we stayed in one hotel, all of us from the organization who were on that trip. And then when people were talking about the rooms they had gotten, Sandy and Angie actually insisted, "Oh, you guys," this is them, I'm reporting what they said. "Oh, you guys, we've got the worst room, oh my gosh." So in our hearts we're like, "Oh guys, sorry, we have not gotten the best rooms, but at least we have some view." I think our view was in a city or something. I was staying with my friend Gift from Uganda in the same room. So we were feeling sorry for them, only to realize this was their tactic to make us not feel bad, because they'd actually gotten the best room with the best view overlooking a bay in Manila. You can imagine. So these days when we joke about it, we say, the worst, I've gotten the worst, So when you hear me telling you that, that's me trying to make you feel better. If I tell you I've gotten the worst food or the worst ride or the worst anything, I'm just actually trying to be considerate, to consider your feelings. So Sandy and Angie, if you're listening to this, I miss you guys. I hope we travel together soon. So yeah, that is the story of the crazy flight I had from Singapore to Boston. So guys, this is just an introductory episode for this new year. We are going to be moving the podcast to YouTube, so hopefully you're going to see me on YouTube as you hear me on Anchor and other podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere you can. And if you wish to extend your support to my podcast, you can send in your support. You have supporters link there where you can donate, or you can inquire and send to my PayPal. I will leave the details. Otherwise, great content coming your way. More collaborations this year. And if you have suggestions on topics that you'd like me to cover, be sure to inbox me on IG or on Facebook. On Instagram, I am at Malela_. On Facebook, I am Jefta Malela Okech. So guys, be sure to reach out to me, and if you'd like to email me directly, just email me at author, as in writer, author Jefta12@gmail.com. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I cannot wait to share with you my travel stories, my advocacy stories, my artistic stories, and just any stories that I can get to tell. Looking forward to seeing you, hearing you, being with you in the next episode. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye bye.